Hey, how's it going? I know. Crazy hectic, right? Well, sit back and relax and welcome to the Mom and Pop Spot. Help me welcome my dad and the host of the show, St. Patrick.
Guys, I apologize, but welcome to all my moms, pops, guardians, and guests. This is episode number 27 of the Mom and Pop Spot podcast. And we got your favorite co host, Bernice. Dang, I had to sit up. There we go. There we go.
Aw, thank you.
And today's guests, we have two beautiful mothers. They came from a distance, and one of the mothers is celebrating a birthday today.
Yes, a happy birthday. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for the invite.
Yes. So please show love to Norma and Cynthia to the show. Let me give another round of applause. Yeah. All
There's
right.
no birthday thing on there for her?
Nah, I should have. Yeah,
Aw.
I'll add it in there later or
It's
something.
all
Yeah. Anything challenging this week with parenthood?
right. Every day is a challenging
Yes.
day, I
It
feel
is.
like. Every single day.
Yeah. Actually, tell me your guys' history. Like how many kids you guys have? When you guys had your first child?
I have 6 babies.
Okay.
Well, I can say 9 because I have 3 step babies.
Yeah.
I was a mom at a young age. I was 14 when I had my first baby.
Oh,
She's
wow.
now 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've had a couple other mothers around the same age that have had their first babies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was young.
Yeah. Very young.
Yeah.
That was
pretty
a rough
much-
experience.
Actually, I think she was like my teacher. She was more like the parent,
Yeah.
than I
Taught
was.
you.
Yeah, because I was limited to everything. I wanted to be a teenager,
Mhm.
but I had a responsibility. So I think she pretty much raised me instead of me raising her.
wow.
Aw.
And what about you?
Well, I have 3 boys, and I was 19 when I got pregnant with my first.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 21, 19, and 16. All
Okay.
boys.
Yeah.
And it's all different.
Yeah.
Each
And
one is different.
have we ever asked you
What?
how many kids you have? And
Yeah.
we
Three.
did.
Remember?
I mean, I know we have because of the
3?
context and everything else, but I don't know if we've ever actually asked.
Yeah. I mean, I was just telling her I've got the girls, she's got the boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of similar age, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And how strict are you three with candies? With because of the fact that they're banning Skittles, they're banning Sour Patches now. Do you guys have a strict tolerance, or
I don't.
rules or
Do
anything?
you
Well,
guys?
when my babies were small,
Yeah.
there was no candy, there was no sweets,
Mhm.
there was no games, no Xbox, no nothing.
Yeah.
Now, as they're teenagers, if they want soda or candy, you go buy it by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't, because I try to keep them at least a little bit healthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't mind. You want candy? Go ahead and eat it.
Yeah. I
So,
wasn't too strict on it either, to be honest. I
yeah.
mean, as long as you weren't it's like limits,
Yeah.
you
It's okay
eat.
during the day, but as soon as it starts getting evening, night, no, because then they too sugar to go to sleep.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
So that creates that dopamine too, depending on when you have it. What about you?
I'm okay. They can eat candy all day.
They can eat whatever they want.
Yeah.
Let them be a kid. Hey, I'm on the
Yeah.
same page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna sneak them into the room.
Either way, they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna eat it in front of you or
Yeah.
behind your back. It don't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And then, does who you are affect how your guys' kids are treated around, loved ones, family members, or whatnot? Like, for example, if you're not liked, let's say by a family member, do your kids get that misfortune?
No.
No. Yeah, no.
mm-mm.
Have you ever come across people that don't like you personally?
Yes,
Yeah, and they still treat your kids pretty good.
they better.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
'cause
so
with
like, let's
us, it'll
say,
go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
They
we're not
better.
gonna keep our mouths shut.
We're
Yeah.
adults, we're adults. They have things
Yeah.
with me. It's my problem, but
you've never come and encounter where they might, I don't know, treat your kids.
No, I've been very lucky. I mean, I know it happens often in families.
Right.
But
Yeah, every family has
Yeah.
drama and there's always something, but
Mhm.
I think for the most part, well, for me, you keep that to yourself, and then
Right.
we'll go about our day.
So let me ask you, on the mother's perspective, is what are you guys doing in that situation? Let's say you guys have beef with someone, a family member, and they are treating your child a certain type of way?
I keep it away. If you don't want me in your life or
Hmm.
you have beef with me, then you're not going to disrespect my kids.
Right.
So then that's it.
Or you, for that
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
So that's it. We're done.
And if they're gonna
You
make a
know.
scene, I mean,
Are
Yeah.
you ever fighting?
no. I mean, I just won't go at that point.
Yeah.
If they're not gonna keep their cool and make a scene, then I'm just not gonna go.
Avoid it. Yeah.
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 That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
I just avoid it. I try to keep my distance. If it's necessary for me to be there, it has to be something super special. Something, maybe a funeral.
Hmm.
And it's crazy because funerals, everybody gets together. at a
Yeah, but
funeral.
other than that, I keep my distance.
Right.
Yeah.
I build my family to stick together, and
Yeah.
I avoid it. I try not to have any confrontational problems with people in front of my kids.
Right.
But if it were to happen, of course, I'll speak up on it. I don't stay
Yeah.
quiet. Those are my kids.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm very sensitive, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, I'm talking about my babies. Like, it affects me a certain type of way. You can talk shit about me all you want, whatever the case is, but once you start bringing my kids in it,
Yes.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's that's
Yeah, you could hate me, love me, treat me bad,
yeah.
disrespect me. I'll still, wish you the best and be respectful to you. But when it comes to my kids, don't
And I
mess with
remember
me.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll forgive you. Like, we can,
Yeah.
hash it out, whatever the case is, but I'll always remember what was said in that moment. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And what has been your guys' biggest regret, if you guys have had one? Being a parent.
Well, for me, when they were little, I worked nights.
Right.
So it was really hard for me because during the day they're in school and then at
Hmm.
night I had to work. So I wish I didn't have to work nights so I would have been more time with them.
Yeah.
But I mean, their dad worked days, I worked nights. So
It had it worked out. It
Yeah.
worked out. Yeah.
You just wish you had more time.
Yeah, like to put him to bed. I mean, I did on my days off, but
Yeah.
I worked at the hospital. So I worked a lot of hours. I was gone 13 hours a day, and nighttime though, but still.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then,
starting to get that a lot because I'm working crazy hours. I'm working, before the sun comes up,
yeah.
to when the sun goes down, I'm barely going home. And so I'm starting to reflect back on as my kids are getting older. I'm like, shit, it's bittersweet because I'm like, I gotta be the provider. I gotta be the protector of the
Yeah.
household because I'm not gonna try to like put that weight on my wife's, shoulders or whatever the case is. But at the same time, I'm like, man, like I would love to be in a situation where I could be a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was times where I was a stay-at-home mom, thank God,
Mhm.
especially when I was pregnant. From the
Yeah.
moment I was pregnant to like maybe 2 years old, I
Mhm.
was able to stay home. But then after that, I had to go back to work.
Right.
My
Yeah.
smallest, I went back to work right away. I had him. I did the 2.5 months that they get,
Yeah.
and then I had to go back to work right away because at that time I worked for the city, so it was like I had to go back. So that one was hard because it was like I left my newborn. I was just used to like 1.5 years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then going to work. But for the baby, it was really hard because it was like, wow, he's a newborn still. I'm
Yeah, it's
missing
always
out.
hard when they're
Yeah.
that little and
Yeah.
you just want to be with them and cuddle them.
And the same, I work nights. I always work nights for all my kids.
Yeah.
Always. So I will leave like at 4 in the afternoon and get back like at 6 in the morning. So it was
Wow.
hard. It was hard.
I'm just thinking, how was your childhood when you were growing up? Was it kind of the same situation where,
No. I'm from Puerto Rico, so we lived in Puerto Rico
hey,
for a
Puerto
while.
Rico?
Yeah. So my mom stayed home and my dad was in the service.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to retire. And so then we moved over here and both of my parents at home 24/7.
Okay.
Now I'm the baby.
Yeah.
So I had everything, what I wanted. I wasn't spoiled, but I had everything. My
Yeah.
dad supported us.
You're at least
You had
able
your
to
mom and
benefit
your
the
dad
values.
too.
I had both of my parents home 24/7.
Yeah.
Whatever. I had that childhood. You could go outside. You could play.
You had that happy childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah. Have you had regrets as a parent?
No,
No? You've been
I
very
can't
fortunate
think
then.
of one. No,
Yeah.
I live and learn right along with them.
Yeah,
See, I'm trying
that's
to
true
think.
though. It
And
is true. You live and you learn, like
Yeah,
with
there's
them.
no such thing as having an instruction book how to be a parent.
Yep.
Regardless, we carry that title, but we're still humans. We're still ourselves. So,
Yep.
And
But
we
maybe
learn from our
not-
mistakes too.
mhm.
But maybe
Yeah.
not just in the kid's perspective, but maybe, personally. Like, I was watching a podcast the other day and they were talking about like the guy was saying that kids should have vasectomies until they get to a certain age and then have kids, because the fact that they're put in a different situation where they're now able to financially afford them. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, like what would my situation be? You're never really ready, just like how you said, it's just things change progressively. And regrets, when I'm thinking of regrets, I'm thinking more of what would I have done differently. I might have taken other opportunities. I might have not taken certain opportunities. Um, to actually say if I had a regret, I really don't think I do. But it was just more of just a hindsight question.
Yeah, I feel like also too, like it's not really a regret, but I feel like when you're growing up, when you get pregnant at a young age, you just kind of learn like, maybe that was just happened for a reason,
You
like,
question yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah.
We learn responsibilities. We learn. For me, it was like, when I found out I was pregnant at 19, I was done. I was ready.
Yeah.
I did that teenager life. I went out. I had fun. I
Mhm.
mean, I got arrested. Like, I did the teenager life.
You did the stuff. You
I
can
did the
honestly say
stuff.
you lived
Yeah.
your life.
When
yeah.
I got pregnant, I was like, wow, and when I met my son for the first time, changed my life,
And I think that's sometimes what has to happen, like, because I did the same thing. I was a big partier in my teenage years. I did some bad shit, and then I got pregnant. I think I was like at 19 too.
Yeah, I was 19 and then I had him at 20.
See, I had just turned 20. So no, it was 20. I got pregnant, I think, when I just turned 20 because I had her right when I was in the hospital, like right with my 21st birthday. So I just remember though, like, I think that all happened for a reason. I got pregnant for a reason.
So let me ask you, because of the fact that you guys all had kids before you were 21, do you ever feel like that kind of, and I mean this respectfully, do you ever feel like you were kind of robbed of that period, from 18 to 21
I
because
don't.
of your kids?
Mm-mm. I did so much.
I did so much. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was good.
Yeah.
I did the life.
Do you feel it? How do you feel?
I was actually having a conversation with her about this a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I was robbed by it, like my teenage years.
Yeah.
I felt like I still did it all. I did everything with my kids.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I already gave so much as a mother. Now I'm a grandma. I still have 2 babies left though. I have a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I'm not accomplished. I still want more for me.
Yeah.
Not as a mother. I feel like my job as a mother is never going to end. My kids
Yeah.
are older, but
Absolutely
I feel
right.
like I want something more for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is yet. I'm trying to figure myself out, but it's not like a problem. Like I don't feel like
Yeah.
I
get what you're
want
saying
more.
though.
I want more for myself. I already got enough for my kids. I have love for them. I taught them well, morals, everything. But I just want something for me.
Yeah.
Something that I did myself, by myself,
Yeah.
Can you elaborate more on that? Like, what is it that you're envisioning or that you're seeing when you say you want more?
Well, I feel like I sacrifice. As a mom, I feel like we sacrifice everything.
You do.
We let the world go so we can build the family, take care
Right.
of the family. We're the backbone of
household.
the house.
Yes.
For the husband, for the kids. So I have goals as well, there's things that I want to do, I love cooking. I want a food truck.
Oh.
And it took a lot the business for cooking and restaurants and all that, it's really like tiring and like a lot of time
work.
investment. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna wait for my kids to get a little older and then I'll do my thing, less of a hassle for me running around with the kids and all that.
Right.
So that's the only thing that I can say, that I don't feel accomplished yet as a woman myself. But other than that, as a mom, I feel like I did my job. I feel like I'm still doing it.
No
I'm
regrets.
No regrets at all.
Yeah, I have
That's
no
good.
regrets either. I mean, I
Yeah.
got pregnant at 19, had him at 20. When he was born, I was done. As a woman, I turned myself off, took care of the husband. I was responsible for the babies,
Yep.
But now, I'm divorced, whatever. And my kids are grown. My oldest 21, 19, and 16. It's like, okay, now I think it's time I focus as a woman and stop taking care of everybody else.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
there's that line in the sand where it's like,
hard.
okay,
It's me time.
yeah. When is it? Because we as moms, we put everything into our kids. Like, and I don't know if that's a good thing sometimes though, because I feel
It's not.
like we like forget who we are
We disable
almost.
ourselves from the world.
Yes.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
It's hard because like my oldest is 21 and I feel like I'm his ATM, and it's just like my mom was just telling me this morning, he called, Mom, I need some money, and there I am sending it to him, and she's like, you need to stop. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's my son.
I know it's hard.
I get it. I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I get it because of the fact that she doesn't want you enabling them, but at the same time, like if it's my kid, I'm gonna help him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to one of two things. I don't want them to go through the same thing that we went through when we were growing
Yes.
up, and then second
But
off,
why
because of the
not?
fact that
Yeah, and that's a big question now these
This is
days.
me. To
Yeah.
me, I don't give my kids shit.
yeah,
You want something, you work for it.
Heck
Well, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying,
you
so-
work hard for what you want in this life.
Why? I'm talking about like basic things like their car broke down or
Mhm.
they're overdraft in their account. Things like that. Figure it out. These are the things that are gonna I want to make sure that my kids are disciplined.
right,
And I'm talking about from beginning and end. Not only at home. What they learn at home is exactly what they're gonna have to live out there in the
Yeah.
world. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't want to make life easy for them.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people say, well, I want them to have what I didn't have. I
That's
turned
me.
out,
A lot
I
of
turned out
people
a
say
great ass
that.
fucking person, and I didn't have half of the shit that my kids have.
Yeah.
But see, my point is, if I don't have it, then yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, because part of the reason sometimes when I'm giving them the stuff, or I'm giving them the opportunity to have it, I'm also giving them the reason behind it. Like, hey, like if they're needing it and there's a certain reason why I feel like they should get it, yeah, I'm gonna give it to them. And also because of the fact that I'm financially at that point able to give it to them. If they're asking for something just to piss away, nah, they're not gonna get it. And
Yeah.
then
Yes, I agree.
rhyme or
Mhm.
reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it with everything, goes with that take figuring out what is it that they need and why do they need it. I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think at some points,
Yeah.
some stuff needs to be taught. Like you
Yep.
got to suffer, you got to struggle in order to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I tell my kids because I have boys, so I tell them, you have to be the man. When you grow up, you have to be the man of the house. You got to be the main income. You got to support your wife, your kids, have the money for bills, have the money for, if you guys want to go out, you have expensive, you have everything. So
Yeah.
you have to be the main one. Be respectful, treat her right, treat your family because I have boys. So
Yeah.
I wanted that. So as a woman, I try to teach them what a woman wants, but what a mother wants, but a family wants, But now, like I told them, you guys, my two oldest, you got a job, you want a car, and they want nice cars.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so you got to work hard for it. You got to pay that payment. You got car insurance, you have responsibilities. You got gas, you break down, you need new tires. But when they need a little money here and there, then that's when I'm there helping them. But for the main responsibilities, I tell them, no, I can't do that for you,
Yeah.
because you got to learn,
Yeah.
So one of the questions that was brought up, and I wanted to ask you three because of the fact that you have older kids, was the fact that once my kids, not me personally, but someone brought this question to me where it's just like, once my kids turn 18, I'm kicking them out.
No.
What is your guys' intake on that?
No.
No,
No.
because
No,
they're still kids.
yeah.
Mentally, they're not there still.
This person's thing was kind of going on where they're like, they got to learn the real world and
No.
this and that. Certain situations I was out, at
I was
15,
out.
16,
I was
something
out
like
at
that.
18. I
And
just
I was
wanted
like-
my freedom. I just
Yeah,
wanted.
Yeah.
because they're all
Yeah.
different. All kids
You
grow up
know?
different.
But if I
I
had
didn't
the
wanna-
opportunity to stay home and being able to work on, an actual career or something, or just, just giving a little bit more time, I think the situation would have changed,
Yeah.
But what is your guys' intake?
Well,
on
me, if they're
that
still
situation?
going to school,
Mhm.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're working and going to school, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I do have, I do put limits to everything. They have to pay for their own cell phone. They have to pay, some kind of bill, whether if it's the internet, whether if it's whatever.
Responsibilities.
Yeah,
Right.
I just want to, and even if it's not like a big bill or like, a large amount of money that they have to spend monthly to survive, but it's just giving them a little taste of what they're going to do when they're out.
Absolutely.
Right.
I 100% agree
Yeah.
with that. Yeah. And even with you, just your boys, I tell my girls, like, listen, you are your own person. And I don't know if this is a bad thing or not, but I don't want my daughters to ever have to depend on a man. You make your money and you meet somebody who brings the same amount to the table as you do.
Yeah.
It's no one more than the other. It
So-
should be 50-50.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna
what I
say
tell
something that's
you
probably
know?
gonna be controversial, I guess, in a sense. I have to disagree with you.
Yeah.
Women, and I'm not misogynistic or anything, so don't take this the wrong way. But I think a woman needs a man.
Yeah,
She
absolutely they
needs
do.
that support, and
Oh,
she needs to
absolutely.
depend on the man. And that man
I don't
needs to
think
be the
that
provider,
though.
because today's society of a man is like they're wanting the wife to work or the girlfriend to work, or whatever the case is. They're wanting them to be like, no,
But
like,
it also takes stress off the man too, to not have to feel that pressure of like, I have to make this money. I have to make sure I'm
and
putting
he's
food on the table.
then
Like
respectfully
it should
saying, like,
be equal, in
yeah,
my eyes. I just feel
yeah,
like it'll take a little bit more pressure off the man to have someone who's, equal with each other.
See,
I don't
I
know.
yeah,
tell my boys, because I got the pleasure of staying home or working.
yeah,
So I always tell my kids, and with the same, I grew up like that with my dad. My dad's like, my mom wants to work,
Your
she
dad
could
was a
work.
provider, yeah.
Yeah. So I tell my kids, you be the main provider as a man. But if your wife wants to work, then let her work.
right. And I agree with
Absolutely.
you. If she
If she
wants to
wants to
work,
work, let her work.
it
Yeah.
should be her
And if she
her
wants to
choice.
help pay with bills, let her, because it takes two. It does. It
Yeah.
takes two to build a home, build the foundation, but you be the main one,
Yeah.
have communication, have trust, take her out once in a while, have that day nights, and I do that now because my 21-year-old has a girlfriend and she has a little boy. He's going to be 2. So I'm like maybe a step grandma, a step abuela,
Yeah.
but I tell him, she wants to work, let her work. You guys are young. They're young now. But I all 3 of them. When you get married, if your wife wants to work, let her work.
Yeah.
Because that gives her time out of the house, gives her free
And every
time.
woman needs a break
Yeah.
too out of the
You
house.
know,
When
Yeah.
you
if
have
and
kids,
if she has
it's
her
a
extra
lot.
money, if she wants to buy something for herself, like I did. I had my extra money. If I wanted something, I got it. I didn't have to ask the husband for money because I knew that money was for bills and all that. So I worked, had my little extra money, and got my nails done, did my stuff as
Yeah.
a woman.
And as a woman now these days, we
want
we
everything.
want hair, nails,
Yeah,
That's
I get
it.
it.
We
pedicure.
want
You want
everything.
all that, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's a lot on the man
I get it.
to take on that big
But
responsibility.
I'm more traditional.
It's not
Like
that much, girl. It's a lot easier getting in your car every morning and going to work. It's a piece of pie. I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Anyone can get in the car in the morning and go to work.
Yeah, true.
But I
We
want it
have
to
the
be.
hard job. We stay home. We teach kids morals, how to wipe their fucking ass, how to pick up their plate, how to
How to eat,
how
Yeah.
to eat.
Mhm.
how to get
I don't
dressed.
think that a woman should depend on a man like that, but I think financially, yes, because to me, when my daughters, like my oldest daughter, she just went through a breakup,
Aw.
and
How old is she?
she's 22.
Oh,
She's
she's
the
still
one with the
young though.
baby.
Yeah.
And it was difficult on her. On I think it was more because she just had the baby,
Mhm.
So, but she's like, Mom, I wasn't depending on him financially. She's like, I was depending on him emotionally. I wanted
Yes.
him to be understanding, to listen to me.
She wanted the
Yeah.
support.
Yeah,
the
she wanted the support. Obviously, she knows how to work. She knows how to do things on her own. If that were to be the case, she can do it on her own. But I honestly think the man should provide for the woman.
100%.
And there's a lot,
And if the woman needs to help the man, obviously she's capable of doing it.
absolutely.
But
I think she needs to be able to. That should be her choice. I think and respectfully saying, I think in today's time we move so far away where we're expecting the woman to be equal. And
Yeah.
I mean this with all respect. I don't think there's men and women are not equal.
No, they're not.
And men need to be the provider for these women, especially if there's kids involved. Like they need to make sure that they're providing for that child. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm old fashioned.
Yeah.
I feel like the
Yeah,
mom
me
should
too.
be home.
I would love it.
There's
yeah.
a lot of people like that.
Even the you don't even know who you leave your kids with. Even when
Yeah.
you leave them with family.
Yeah, it's
You
scary.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
That's
That's why I work nights.
yeah,
Because,
I do too.
because
My
I wanted
business
to
is
take care of my
nighttime.
kids. Yeah.
So I just think the man should provide for the woman, because even though you might think, oh my God, it's too much for him. No, it's not. You get in the car, you go to work in the morning, and you spend your whole day at work, and then you come home and you expect dinner done, kids fed, and bed, and everything. You got it all.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so stressful getting up in the morning and thinking my 10-year-old, my 11-year-old, my 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just too much. And I
Yeah.
think it's overwhelming for the woman to have kids, take care of home, and then go to work.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm gonna be the one to say, I mean, as a male's point of view, I mean, taking care of the kids. I mean, when I'm at home with the little one or even all three of them, I'm like, fuck, like this is
It's a lot of
it's a
work.
lot of work.
It's a lot of
So
work.
being the fact that you're having to take care of the kids and still provide for a job, and that's where my point of view comes.
Yeah.
You
it
shouldn't have to
counts.
go like you shouldn't have to go and work a job and still come home to take care of the kids. Like let the if the woman wants to work, let it be her choice.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
shouldn't be a thing that you have to work and then it's like 50-50. Like no, like the man has to be the provider.
Yeah.
And I think in a relationship it's never 50-50. It's always 100
Exactly. I agree
because
100%.
I can't meet me halfway. No, sometimes he can't make it halfway, so I'll go all the way. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
sometimes I can't
Yeah.
make it halfway, so he'll come all the way. I think we both have the same responsibility for our family to function. Teamwork between both of us. I don't see nothing wrong with me working, to help him out if he's falling behind financially. I don't see why I can't go and get a job and help him. And I
Yeah.
don't see why he can't come home and feed the kids, put him to
Yeah.
sleep, give him a shower.
Yeah.
It's teamwork.
It's teamwork.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. That's a good way of putting it. A
Yeah.
teamwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work as a team.
Yeah. But before we continue, we're gonna take a quick potty break. We're gonna take a quick break, but don't forget to hit that like, subscribe to this channel, and share this video for support. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. So we're having a good conversation here. But I got a random thought.
Always good conversation.
Yes. What does it mean when the baby mother disrespects the baby father only to have reach out later on for financial support? What is that saying?
Oh, what the? Sorry.
Well, I was always good.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm separated from baby daddy, that's
Yeah.
what I call him now because
That's what he is, baby daddy.
yeah, he's my ex-husband, but he's the rude one.
Yeah.
I still respect because he's the father of my children. I don't ask him for anything, but he's the disrespectful one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe in talking stuff like I want to because there's the way he treats me or the way sometimes he treats my kids. It's like, but I keep my mouth shut for my children.
Yeah.
Because I want to be the better one. So I don't reach out for anything. But I hate it. I hate the situation, but
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Also too, I think going back, I think for me, like I don't want like when I was like my first marriage and we got divorced, it was so ugly. It got so ugly. The kids were super, super little. They'll never remember, but it got so ugly and it was to the point because I didn't work at that time and it was like he was being just trying to do the worst, and I had to go back to my mom's house and I wasn't working at the time. So it was like he knew how to push my buttons.
See, and I'm the woman that I do everything. I do the household, I do the kids, I do you, I do me. Plus I work.
Yes.
All you have to do as a man was go to work and bring the income home. He didn't have to do shit.
Yeah.
Literally. He didn't even have to take the trash out. Like I did everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kills him now is because he knows now he has to work. Now he has to pay the bills.
He
Now
don't-
he has to do everything. I did
Yeah.
everything. All he did was go to work, bring the money home, and then chill and relax on the couch.
So he didn't value you. He didn't show your appreciation and stuff.
So now it's just like now
I
that I'm
think-
trying to do me, he's hating.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wait, my kids are grown. I
Yeah.
don't have toddlers. I don't have to worry about my kids right now. You know, my kids, unfortunately, my situation, they live with him right now. So it's just like I'm trying to do me now,
Yeah.
and I'm the bad person.
Yeah.
But I don't disrespect. Why? Because you're the father of my children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I have a question because the fact that you have girls, and then when Norma comes back, I'll ask her too with with the both sides, and then with you with boys. What is that conversation coming like when you're now approaching the sex talk?
Oh gosh.
Oh,
It's so
I'm open
weird.
with my kids.
Yeah.
It's funny because my boys are more comfortable with me
Yeah.
than their dad.
Okay.
So they don't talk to their dad about love, about sex,
Mhm.
whatever, money. Literally, my boys come to me and they're like, "Oh, mom, you know, how is it, or what happens, or how can I satisfy her?" And I tell, like, my 21-year-old now, he, I since I moved out, he moved in with
Yeah.
this girl, and I was like, "Mira, papi, have fun, do your business, but take that shit out because you're too young for a baby."
Yeah.
But I talked to him straight up. "Oh,
That's
Yeah.
good
mom,
though. You have to be straight
yeah,
up with them.
because
Like,
it's
Yeah.
life.
be honest.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know they're gonna do it. So now my 16-year-old, he's trying to have this girlfriend, and the other day he comes and he was like, "Mom, so like, how do I satisfy her?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Mira, don't talk to me right now about that. Like, no, you're too young." I was
Yeah.
like, "You better not."
Yeah, that's what we say, but
He's like, "Oh,
So
well, I haven't kissed her yet," or so I like that we could sit there and have this
and have the
conversation
conversation.
because
Yeah.
my dad was like that with me. My
Uh,
dad was
Open.
like,
sorry, as an 18-year-old, as of right now,
I know. Different
I
generation.
respect. I could never go to my mom and talk about, hey,
My
how do
kids
I do
do.
this? Yeah,
My kids do.
my mama make me uncomfortable.
I'm not.
Oh
See,
my,
my dad was like
my
that
mom
with
was
me.
graphic. I'm like, Mama, I don't need this. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll explain every detail to
Or,
detail.
or I don't need nothing. Or I have my biological mom and my foster mom. My foster mom's a Christian woman. Don't let me come up talking to her about. Boy,
None of that.
I'll get
Yeah, no,
fire.
I'm Catholic.
I'll get fire smack from my ass. Anyway, y'all proceed. I just wanted to
Yo.
make a little cameo. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Yo. Like, my 19-year-old, he had a girlfriend, and he was like, "Mom," I was like, "You better not. Are you having sex with her?" It was my first question. He was like, I was like, "You better go buy condoms." I was like, I'm straight up.
Yeah.
You
You have to be.
I am. And I like that because my dad was like that with me more than my mom.
Oh.
My dad was there, like, when we started our period, makeup,
Yeah.
because they were divorced. So my dad was like, when you're ready to have sex, you come to me. I'll buy you condoms or we'll get you birth control. Like, my dad was so open with me.
Yeah.
So that's the same way I am with my kids.
Hmm.
I'm open with them. I tell
Yeah.
them everything. I teach them life. When I don't have money in my income, like, I'll even show them my bank, like, "Papi, this is life. This is what I'm going through."
Yeah.
So I do have that sex conversation with my kids. I do.
It's good.
are you open with your kids about sex?
Yeah, but I don't.
You only disclose so much.
Yeah, I can. With my 18-year-old, my 19-year-old, my son, I just tell him, I'm like, there's consequences. I'm like,
Yeah.
be careful
Yeah.
where you shove your peanuts. I'm like, and respect women. I'm like, respect them. Make sure that, you just, they have parents too,
Yeah.
And I'm sure one day he's going to be a father, and I don't think that he's going to want his, daughter treated disrespectfully. So,
But I think when we think about sex, we're mainly thinking about having kids. And my wife's been bugging me. She's like, you gotta have the talk, you gotta have the talk. I mean, my kids just turned 11. And I've been contemplating on like what's the right approach. My thing is not him having kids, it's more of
diseases.
getting affected. Yeah, the diseases. and
Does
stuff
he
like that.
know like anything?
No, right now he's 11, so he's just
He
thinking
doesn't
about
even think of
he's just thinking
anything
about
like
boobs,
that.
boobs and butt. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
Yeah. My 14-year-old, Dano, when he was around that age, I
Yeah.
went through his iPad and I could see the history.
Yeah, my
And
wife
that's
was
how you
just
knew right
flipped
away. You're
out.
like, oh no.
It
That
says
happened
white
to me.
white girls kissing,
Oh.
2 white girls kissing, or something like that. And then I don't know what else, something
That
about
happened
white
to
girls'
me
titties.
with my old
Yeah.
ones when he was maybe like 13, and we got him a cell phone, and one day I went through his phone. There was porn on there.
Oh no.
I was like, what the
On
hell?
the cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I was
yeah,
like-
no, it wasn't a big deal. He just, the point was that he likes white girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the point.
It's fine, you know, the fact that he wanted to see titties or girls kissing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, everything was like the white girl or white girl's titties or white girl this, you know.
Yeah.
So he likes white girls.
Yeah.
So what's your conversation like? Because you have girls.
Well, yeah, honestly,
Because it's different, right, for girls?
for girls, it's different. Like, I wanted to see, like, was there anything that, like, you know, is she catching on to things? Because she's got 2 older sisters. There's a big gap. There's like 5-year gap from my
Did you
youngest.
talk to them about birth control or no?
For
After you answer that, maybe you can offer her advice on like the right approach. Well,
well,
I mean, they're
birth
kind of older
control.
now, right?
Yeah, they're older now, but
Okay, never mind.
I have a limit when it comes down to that.
you know,
I feel like me giving them that right to be like, if they're 18, they can go do it themselves.
Mm.
yeah,
But if they're under 18, I don't think I would do it, only for the simple fact because it's like me being okay with them going to have sex.
yeah,
It's like
I-
you're
I
giving
mean,
them
I
the,
know it's
go
gonna
ahead and go
happen,
open
yeah.
your leg. Yes.
I know it's gonna happen,
yeah.
obviously, you know. But I don't want them to think in their freaking mind that
It's
my
okay.
mom just told me to go have sex.
Yeah, she just
you
put
know?
me on birth
Yes.
control, so
No.
it's tough.
So with the girls, yes. With the girl, no birth control.
Yeah.
But with the boys, yes, I did talk about the condom thing,
Me
you know,
too.
the
Yeah.
consequences and all that. But other than that, like,
It's like I have a niece, you know, and my niece lived with me for a while with my sister. And, you know, she was 15, 16, and she had a boyfriend. And so I had the conversation with her. I was like,
Yeah.
"Mira, mommy, I know you have a boyfriend now. I know your mom has let him spend a night at her apartment one night. I don't know if you're having sex, but protect yourself.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. You know, like, you're too young. You know,
Mm-hmm.
one little mistake, you get pregnant.
Yeah.
Then your life changes, you know, because I had boys. So, but she was my niece, you know, so I told her that was the, and, you know, I didn't say, oh, I'm going to tell your mom, put you on birth control. No. Because then that's just be like, oh, okay, then I can have sex.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I did just tell her, take care of yourself, be careful, think
Yep.
about it.
Mhm.
You
That's
know,
what I did. I
'cause
had
you're
them
young.
Google like all the STDs that are out there.
Yes.
I wanted them to see and read it. And then I bought little books too for them to, you know, because they probably didn't want to hear all of it from me. I think
Yeah.
I started around, I want to say like talking about 12. I think it was like 12.
How
Oh,
old is your
wow.
oldest?
My oldest is 19. She'll be 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
My son just turned 19.
That's scary. Yeah.
it is scary. You know, you never know if you're saying the right things.
Yeah.
And it's just like, in the whole birth control thing, it is like, I pretty much saying, go have sex by
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
her, you know,
Yeah.
one has an IUD. So the oldest one does. And then the
Like a
middle one
passport?
is fighting me. Huh?
I'm just kidding.
But
Like
the middle
passport.
one's fighting me on it.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't want to be on anything, but she says she's not doing anything. So it's like, I have to take her word for it.
You have to
I
trust
have
them
to
as,
trust
as a
her.
mother. And that's
You
why
know,
I'm with my kids.
I don't want to not
Yeah.
her to be on anything, but she's telling me she doesn't want to be on anything and she's not doing anything. So I don't
I'm
know.
just
It's
really
so
big
hard.
with birth control in general. I've never liked it. It just,
That's
Well, it
funny that
messes
you
with your
say
body,
that
too.
you
I
had a
never-
conversation with your son because I didn't have a conversation with my dad. I had a small conversation with my mom, kind of, and she just told me, she's like, "You have sex, your shit's gonna fall off." So I was like every time I had sex, I was like, "Okay, like is
And
this?"
that's your
It's
mom.
still there.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm
like, that's
good.
your mom.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I told my son that you shove it everywhere. I'm like, eventually you're gonna wake up without it. I'm like, so be careful.
yeah.
Because just as like
That's
just
true.
like boys could be, you know, out there, girls too. You know.
Oh, yeah. Girls.
It's- and I guess they see us like the worst because we're women. You know, we're not supposed
that's-
to be doing that.
That's where the
Mhm.
term "whore" came from. It was a derogatory phrase that came from a woman to another woman to, you know, be promiscuous. That's why the term "whore" comes to a woman and promiscuous comes from a guy. Like, it's very sexualized
It's
in
true.
that manner.
Wow.
Mhm.
I tell my
Yeah.
boys, you know, there's girls out there that are whores. I go, but there's also man whores.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so I always tell them there's man whores and there's whores. You know, as a woman, I've known man whores. You know, that man just wanted to be with the
Yeah.
woman, just to be with the woman, and I've known women who are just whores too. You know, so like now when they tell me about girls and stuff, I'll be like, oh, she's just another whore. Mom, why you have to call everybody a whore? But it's just to mess around with them, you know, and teach them, you know, watch out, you know, because females nowadays, you know, are crazy too,
Yeah.
you know.
For real.
So thinking on that same subject, you know, women are just being the fact that we live in a very sexualized society, you know, not like other countries where you can walk around naked and not be, not have to fear
Being
Um,
criticized.
or just being feared, you know, being, you know, assaulted in a sense.
Yeah.
does that change, with you guys having daughters, if certain male figures or females come into your house, and how are you guys handling the situation? Like, let's say you have certain family members that come over and you know that they have wandering eyes, whatever the case is, and your daughter might be dressed a certain type of way, or like, are you
That's a hard
guys
one. Yeah, because the
I
girls.
don't think we should have to dress a certain way so just we don't provoke men. Learn how to fucking keep your eyes to yourself.
Yeah.
I agree.
Fucking,
I
you know?
agree.
I
Absolutely.
can dress however the hell I want, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's horrible that we have to
Respect.
fucking go around what we do, what we like doing because men are freaking nasty.
Perverts, yeah.
Yeah.
Perverts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're wandering
And I
eyes.
agree,
yeah.
because the fact that, like, when I think about certain situations, I was like, man, if I ever had a daughter and she didn't feel comfortable, that person would not be allowed in my house. I mean, bottom line,
Me
I would
too.
not open the door. My kids shouldn't have to feel a certain type of way being inside
Yeah.
their own house. That's their dome. That's their comfort zone.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
they're feeling intimidated because someone else is coming over and they're sexualizing them.
I'm
I
really
mean-
strict. I mean, I've always been strict with my kids, and I'm Puerto Rican, so don't fuck with me, and that's what I tell my kids. But I always say I think God did not bless me with girls because shoot, I wouldn't let her out. I mean, I'm so strict, like scared, like
Yeah.
scared wise, because of the men, the drama of the
Mhm.
life. Boys are boys. So I teach my boys to be strong, be rough, but also respect a woman.
Yeah.
You open the door for her, you buy her flowers, you hold her hand. You're walking on the sidewalk, you put her in the inside of the sidewalk, you walk on the outside. And I'm strict when they get dressed, pick up those pants, don't baggy it. But if I had a girl, oh my God.
I think it's the same with both. I think boys are at risk. You'll be surprised how many boys out there have been molested, raped.
Oh, yes.
It's
Family members. And I
Yeah.
think because they're men,
Yeah.
that typical Mexican, oh my God, los hombres no lloran,
Oh, no.
we're
supposed to-
tough.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's where the machismo comes from. And I think that's one of the reasons that we see it like that. Like, oh, el hombre, he'll back him, himself up. The woman is, but us women, we speak up. Well, me in general, like my girls, I tell them, anybody looks at you the wrong way, touches you the wrong way, I teach them all the time, speak up.
Yeah.
At that moment, I don't care who's around you, and you let them know.
Yeah.
And the same thing with my boys. Because I think we're all at risk when it comes down to that with our kids.
Yeah.
People out there are freaking sick.
I do agree
But-
with you. I do agree with you because I do tell my boys, you always speak your feelings. You always, speak out.
Mhm.
You always watch out for yourself. You take care of yourself. But always, you have feelings. You want to cry, cry.
Mhm.
You want to tell somebody how you feel. Let them know how
That's
you feel.
good. That's
I always tell them because me, I do keep some stuff inside, so it hurts. So I know that feeling. But as for them to be boys, I always tell them, don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to scream. You're having a rough day, you need to grab your pillow and scream, especially my middle one, because he's just like me and he gets super like stressful
Mhm.
because he wants to help everybody else. And then, so he gets really stressed. And I tell him, llora, grita, scream, cry. He's more temper. So like he's had punched a wall before, but
Yeah.
I always tell him, let it out, let your feelings out. Don't be scared, communicate, tell what you're feeling because it's true, as a woman or as a man or as a kid or as a boy or as a baby, everybody has the same feelings,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Yeah, I agree.
I would love to hear you guys' opinion on this situation. A father is caught being overly flirtatious with the kid's nanny. The kid's nanny is obviously uncomfortable about it, and the baby's mother is oblivious about the whole situation. How are you bringing it to this mother's attention, and what are you saying, or if you say anything to the father, and how do you save the nanny from this awkward situation?
The nanny came to the.
So, like,
who confronted who?
Well, it's like you're like
You're
there
the
in this-
wife. So
No,
the
like,
nanny
you're-
came to the wife?
No, so let's say you guys go out somewhere and you see like this father is being overly flirtatious with the nanny, and the nanny doesn't want to be messed with.
Mhm.
And you're not the wife, you're not like anybody, you're
Oh,
just
you're an
a bystander.
outsider,
Yeah, you're
just
just
seeing
a
on the
bystander.
air, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, like, for example, if I came to her house and I saw, for example, her husband flirting with her nanny,
Yeah.
Right.
would I say something?
Yeah. Who are you talking to, and are you saying anything at all?
I mean, that's just
I
kind
would just tell the nanny.
like
hey, girl, you better go say something before it gets worse, you
Yeah.
know? Because
If I
you gotta
see
put,
something, yeah, I would be like, girl, it's none of my business, but
Mhm.
just watch yourself, protect yourself, and if you feel comfortable, say something.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
so if
know.
it's written all over the nanny's face,
Yeah.
and the nanny's just like freaked out about it and doesn't know
Yeah.
what to do, or like,
I wouldn't tell the wife or I wouldn't tell the husband because that's not my business to break
Mhm.
up a family. But I will, if the nanny was having a conversation with me, then I would give her my advice.
Say she doesn't know how to stand up for
Yeah.
herself. Let's say she doesn't have that confidence yet.
But if I saw something happening,
I think
then
her
I
face
would.
expression would say it
Yeah.
all.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure her face will say it all. And if it did, I'd probably tell her. And knowing me, I'll probably tell him something too. Knowing
like, hey
me,
man,
hell
keep your
yeah.
hands to
Like,
yourself.
what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah.
You're not paying her for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about this situation? A TikTok mom training her 5 daughters that virginity is not real, stating it's a patriarch concept used to control women and serves no purpose other than making women feel bad about themselves. Do you guys agree with this?
I disagree.
Yeah, and why?
Because to me, virginity, it's not like something physical. It's more emotionally. You know what I mean? You never.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's an experience. It's like obviously you're not born with it.
Yeah,
And even if you sit there and talk about it with your mom or your dad, you'll never experience it the way you're gonna experience it, one
Right.
on one with the person you're gonna be with. So I think,
Physically. Yeah.
yeah. So I think I disagree.
yeah.
That lady's
Yeah.
crazy.
Both. You agree?
Yeah.
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 Do you guys teach your kids any purity rules or what your conversation is on that topic?
Just wait until it's someone you are in love
Yeah.
with.
I'm kind of. I think we had this conversation last week where my bad advice is to kind of have my kid, test out, until he finds someone, you know what I mean? Like test the waters a
I
little
mean,
bit. I'm trying to say
I'm-
it
Well,
politely.
yeah,
I'm
it's
like
like
that.
a car. You're not gonna go buy a car without test
eh,
driving
eh,
it, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're gonna
yeah.
commit with the freaking $500 payment monthly. You want to drive the motherfucker before you
Yes.
commit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about relationships, and I'm not saying sexually, but I think you should get to know that person.
Right.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
And that's
Emotionally,
what
I
I
would
tell
say,
my
like,
kids.
if you feel that,
Yeah.
yeah,
I tell them there's a lot of mermaids in this ocean. There's a
Mhm.
lot of girls out there. You're not just gonna find the right one tomorrow.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You're
it's true.
gonna, like my 19-year-old, he just broke up with his girlfriend because she was tripping. She wanted location. She wanted this. She wanted to work more hours. Oh, when am I gonna see you, dude? You guys are 19.
Yeah,
She's
no,
yeah.
18.
There's no need for
I was
it.
like,
They're not-
I'm
they're
gonna
not
be
married.
41, and I don't share my location. I did
I
that
don't
with your
either.
dad, and
Yeah.
I hated it. So now,
I share it when I'm going out of town.
yeah.
I mean, I do. 'Cause I don't really
I do.
care.
I
Yeah.
But I tell
just have
them,
to. 'Cause I
there's
have girls though. Like I'm so
protective.
My kids do share their
You
location
know?
with me. I pay for their phone bill, so they
Yeah.
better share location.
yeah.
But other than that,
Yeah.
like I don't go through their stuff.
I don't
I
either.
keep it.
I don't go through this stuff either.
I don't
I really
really-
don't.
Yeah.
And I wait for them to talk to me. I
I
do
do too.
notice sometimes that something's going on,
Oh yeah.
but I feel like if they're not telling me, it's for a reason.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I-
Come to you
They don't
when
want
you're
they
ready.
don't want to hear what we have
Yeah.
to say. That's
and they
really
don't,
what it is.
and they know they're wrong, so that's why they don't want to come to me.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna let them bump their head in the wall and
Yeah.
see what happens. from there.
But you have to do that. They have
Yeah.
to learn some way, whether it doesn't always have to be from us. They have to learn their own way.
Yeah.
Right.
Their
You know?
own ups and downs.
Yes.
Their
We
own-
can't
yeah.
do everything for
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I
Um,
tell my kids now because they're teenagers and they're growing up. I'm not in their business. I don't ask them questions,
Me
but I'm
neither.
here for you. You want to talk to me? Talk to me.
Yeah.
But be honest. Don't lie to me.
Yeah.
Don't fuck up in life. I'm there for you. But the day that I find out you lied to me, I'm done. So that's why I think my kids come to me and talk to me and they're open.
Yeah.
But I don't get in their lives. I don't have to because I know when they're ready, they'll come and sit down and be like, "Hey, mom, I got something to say," or
Right.
And it's hard to bite your tongue too as a parent.
It
you
is.
know, it's so hard.
yeah.
I give them the silent treatment, girl. It works all the time because they're constantly used to me hearing me, mom. I already
Like
cleaned the
bitching,
dishes. I
yeah.
already did that. I did that
Yeah.
yesterday, and I'm like picking at them and picking on them. So finally, when I get fed up, and I'm like, okay,
You're
just
done. You don't talk.
yeah,
to
I
them.
don't talk. I just say the basics. I don't ask them for anything. I do everything myself.
Yeah.
Once I do that, it scares them more than me being upset.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before we start wrapping up the show. What is actually 2-part question. one being is what one advice can you offer your kids as a whole, as one piece of advice? And then the second follow-up question is, what are you telling yourself, barely starting parenthood?
Oh, I would just say be true to yourself, you
Is that
know,
to you or is that to your
to my
kids?
kids.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just say be true to yourself. Always, follow your heart, follow your feelings,
I agree because I tell my boys to always be yourself,
Mhm.
always be honest to yourself, respect yourself. Because if you don't respect yourself, how is somebody else going to respect you?
Yeah.
You know, and love yourself first.
Yeah,
Because if
absolutely. Love yourself first.
and that's what I always tell them: love yourself first, respect yourself first, take care of yourself first. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of somebody else?
Yeah.
So as a mother, that's the only advice I could give them: be you, be true.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams. And work hard for your shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Work hard for your shit.
What are you telling your kids?
Same. I always tell them, be yourself, be happy. I always tell them to be happy.
Yeah.
And I tell them to be proud of themselves. I
Mhm.
could sit here and tell them that I'm proud of them, but I want them to learn how to love themselves. So I always tell them,
Yep.
be proud of yourself, love yourself, and just be
Yeah.
happy. I want them to be. We're here to be happy.
Yeah.
We're not.
I mean, life's too short. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah,
and I always
life's
tell
too
them, be
short.
happy,
Yeah.
enjoy. Yes, we fall. Pick yourself up.
Always
Love
pick-
yourself.
we're
You
gonna
learn
fall
from
at the
our
end of the
mistakes.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learn from our
Everyone
mistakes.
falls.
Don't
Yeah.
be afraid to fall.
Exactly.
Because the only
Don't be afraid.
I tell them, if something makes me proud is a person that might have fallen apart, but they were able to get back up.
Right.
And that's the most important part.
Yes. I don't look at people because they're perfect. They don't make mistakes or whatever. I can give two shits. I like the person that can fall apart and can get themselves
Yep.
back up. I always tell them,
Absolutely.
make the mistake. Don't regret it because you're going to learn from it.
Yep.
Got it.
And then we get
100%.
stronger from our mistakes.
That's right.
And we
Yeah,
So-
it makes you
learn,
stronger
we
as a
learn,
person.
What are you saying to yourself as you're entering motherhood, to a younger version of yourself, a young mother?
Don't be afraid.
Damn.
'Cause you were
Love
young.
them.
Were you afraid?
No. It was the best feeling I've ever had.
But then you're telling yourself, don't be afraid, but then you weren't afraid.
I wasn't afraid, but I think everybody was afraid because I was little. Everybody underestimated me, and everybody
you're
was freaking
young.
out. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, where the hell? I'm the one that's pregnant.
Yeah.
So everybody made me feel like I did something wrong because I
That-
was
yeah.
underage. I was a teenager, and it scared me. That just hearing them, just by hearing them,
What
oh
they
my
had
God,
to
you ruin
say.
your life.
Yeah.
This is gonna change everything, and
Yeah.
this is gonna stop
Which
you
is
from
typical.
Yes,
You know.
So I think when this happens to other females, I don't be afraid. Don't listen to anyone else. Follow your
Exactly.
heart.
Mm-hmm.
We learn as we go. I think the best teacher in life is our kids. I didn't
Yeah.
know I had
And
patience.
you know what? That's true what you say because, for me, I always say a child comes into a person's life when God says it's time.
Mhm.
It could be a mistake, but that mistake's for a reason.
Absolutely.
You know,
Everything in life happens for
for
a
a
reason.
reason,
I'm
yeah.
so big on
Yeah.
that.
So for me, as telling any young kid,
But not just
hey,
any kid. What are you telling a younger version of you as you're entering
well,
parenthood?
I was 20.
Mhm.
So, like I said, I was ready. I was scared. I was nervous,
Mhm.
but
Isn't that crazy to say you were ready at 20?
You
Because I
know?
felt the same way. I was ready. I felt
I mean,
like
because
I
I
was
did
just
everything.
ready.
I lived the
You
life.
know?
I met my ex-husband at that time. It was like, okay, we were dating for a year. Then I ended up pregnant. And then I loved children since I was baby. I mean, I had the dolls. I had the strollers. So I was
love
scared.
babysitting.
Yeah, I babysat too. So when I got pregnant, I was in shock because I thought that I was going to be like my godmother and my other aunt where we can't have children. So to find out that I was actually pregnant was
What a blessing.
Yeah.
for me.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I was always scared. Like I wanted kids. I wanted 6 kids. I wanted 3 girls and 3 boys. Like the Brady Bunch, but it didn't happen. And I was done after my third.
I got the Brady Bunch.
You got the Brady Bunch?
I got the Brady Bunch.
See, I wanted that, but but it was a blessing for me. So, but my kids now, I tell them, just protect yourself, take care. The same thing with my niece. When it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be your message to yourself.
Yeah.
And then you?
Yeah, I mean the same. Just when it happens, it happens,
Mhm.
and just be. I mean, you're never really prepared.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
never
there's really
prepared.
no other thing you can say to prepare, but just be strong and you can do it. You can do
Hell
it.
yeah.
It's gonna be rough. It's
Have
gonna be
confidence in yourself.
yes. you
as a
know,
woman or as a man or
You
as
know?
a child.
you are going to be this
Mhm.
person's role model. You
Yeah.
know, what do you want them to look up to? What do you want them to say? Oh, my mom, taught me this,
or my
mom,
dad.
or my dad. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
agree.
my 22-year-old, she's now that she's going through all of this, she's all like, "Oh my God, mom, it's hard being a mom. It's
I think it's a beautiful thing, and I say that respectfully, saying because the fact that you can actually give her your own personal experience.
Mhm.
yeah.
I
And
think it's a
how old is
beautiful
her
thing.
baby?
huh?
How old is her baby?
He's 7 months.
Oh, so he's
Yeah, he's baby,
He's a
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
My baby. I call him Prieto. He's super dark like his father.
Oh.
And it's so funny because my babies, my other babies, I have a 4-year-old. Her name is Sophia. And while my oldest daughter, and my youngest daughter, Sophia, they're so attached to each other. Like, oh my gosh.
Step bond.
Yes. And while she was pregnant, she was always with her sister. And now that the baby's here, she left her sister alone and she's always with the baby. And
Yeah.
her sister's like, what about me? We were best
Aw.
friends.
Mm.
And she's all like, we're
jealous,
still
yeah.
friends. She's all like, but
Connect
doesn't
more with the other one.
understand.
That's hard for her to
Yeah.
understand.
She's only
That's like her
4.
best friend.
But
Yeah.
I like that my oldest daughter like teaches her stuff, like, hey, let's change the baby's diaper, bring me a diaper, like,
Yeah.
she'll-
Showing
she'll
her
invo-
without
yeah,
knowing.
she's involved,
Yeah.
she's involving
Good.
her with her and the
That's
baby.
good.
So
That's good.
Yeah, that's
really
good.
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 Nobody's gonna know. Oh.
You know what that means. It's now time for the no, the O, and the laugh. It's where this and every show we give out a random hack, fun fact, or message and joke. Today's hack, if you guys got freezer bags laying around and the kids are kind of being rambunctious inside the cars, grab that freezer bag and grab an iPad or phone. And if you're going for a long drive or just a quick trip and you want to keep the little one busy while you drive, grab that Ziploc freezer bag, put the device inside the bag, and then you're going to connect it to the headrest. So you kind of know what, like, you'll take the
Mhm.
headrest off
Yeah.
and you'll shank the two things inside the freezer bag.
yes,
So that way it holds it like an actual holder.
Yeah.
It's like
I didn't know
it's
that.
it's a cheap way to, so that way you don't have to pay for the back seat kind of thing.
Yeah.
especially if it's an emergency.
Yes.
Right,
That's nice. I didn't know that.
Either. I'm not
And,
up to date with all that.
I'm doing my research. I'm trying to inform the masses.
I'm
so-
learning as we go.
Yes. And the joke. Did you know they no longer allow loud laughing in Hawaii?
Why? Wait.
What?
Why?
Yeah, they don't. They only allow aloha.
Oh, well, then I will never be able to go to Hawaii because I'm always laughing.
No, but you get it? Aloha? Like aloha?
Aloha.
Aloha. Oh my
There you go.
God.
A little late.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just like 10 minutes later.
I know.
Always for me.
And the message, parents, your kids are kids. Stop creating these child traumas by blaming them of your own dysregulations and these unnecessary inabilities we set on them. For example, telling them it was their fault for why we are frustrated or angry. Be okay by apologizing to them and letting them know it wasn't their fault of how you felt because they don't control how you feel about your emotions. We as parents, we have a responsibility to allow them to be kids and not to be punished for it. Your kids are kids. Do you guys kind of get that?
Yes,
Like,
I
you know what I mean?
do.
Because we're it's very quick and very easy to say, like, you got me frustrated. And it's like, well, no, like, they're kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we need to stop putting that blame on them.
That is true.
Yeah. But I do want to thank the both of you guys for coming on the show.
Yes.
Thank you for the
guys.
invite.
It was a
It's
good
nice
time.
to get two
Yeah, I'm
people
telling you,
on
I've been
here.
bugging you for a minute.
I know. I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
have 6 kids.
Yeah.
grandkids,
Busy.
like 7 horses, and you name it.
Yeah.
I'm busy all the time.
Yeah.
I
So
work
I-
at night.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thank you. That's why I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a good one. Do you guys want to plug anything, promote anything, anything?
No.
No books, no nothing, no.
Wait till I open my taco stand.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Got you guys.
Right in
I'll be
line.
there.
Yeah. You should talk to me.
I
Because
will.
I got
I'll
an
be
idea
there.
that I want to do. I got like a whole thing that I want to do.
Let's do it.
So let's link up.
I'll be
Um,
Let's do it.
yeah. And as we wrap up the show, I want to give a huge shout out to our co-host Bernice.
Thank you.
Yes.
As always.
She had to deal with me sitting today, so sitting right next to her. But my goal is to actually be behind, and then that way, like, you're running it, I'm the voice behind the scenes kind of thing, and we get our guests and we just kick the shit kind of thing, but parent podcast kind of thing. And as always, Mr. Habari Live, Mr. Dip,
Mr.
and Jimmy, and Aisha,
Jimmy.
and Elijah, Wealth for Generations
All of you
Lee.
guys.
Yes, all of you guys. Please also check out One Love on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Stay safe out there, stay hydrated, and make it a great day. We're out.